And if we're looking at it from a wife standpoint, I really feel like, okay, say, let me just dive into it. Just say a wife, what would it do, right? And just say it took her 2 years to become a wife. She did X, Y, Z, or whatever. It took her 2 years to become a wife. And then the dude to meet another girl, right? Just say he made another girl, and it take her 6 months to be a wife. Right there, you're gonna have problems, right? Because the wife is never supposed to look at another female as her equal. Never. That's what the thing is. Or you have to look at it like this. What is your definition of a wife? Anybody who practices polygamy needs to understand, like, not need to understand, but has to be able to know what is your definition of what a wife is. And a wife needs to understand what her description is, what her definition of being a wife is. Because when you bring somebody in so quickly like that and stuff, the number one, I'm looking at it like this. Polygamy to me is to look at it like it's really unnatural, right? It really is when you really look at it. Now, something that's unnatural doesn't mean that it can't be practiced, right? So the thing is like you have to be able to look at what you're trying, what the guy is trying to accomplish, and how long does it take him to accomplish it. Some people need 5 wives to accomplish something. Another person could just need 1. How long does it take you to get to your goal? How long does it take to get to your mission? Pretty much. And it's going to be unnatural because it has to be taught. See, the thing is it's our natural. Okay, let's look at it like things that are natural is like your eyes blinking. That's natural. It's going to happen on its own. It's your heartbeat. It's going to happen on its own. It's like without thought. You know what I'm saying? Your brain thinking about shit, doing shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Those things and shit like this is just natural things when you swallow and everything throughout the day. Those are things that just naturally happen. Let's just give those an examples of what natural is. Those things are supposed to happen over and over and over again, and you don't even have to think about doing them. They're going to do it on itself. When a woman gets with another woman and say that they are wives together to where they have to share a man, it is going to cause problems right off the gate naturally. You will have to destroy something inside that woman in order for her to accept that shit. You have to destroy a part of her essence, a lot of her essence, to be able to mold her into being someone to accept something that's unnatural. Let's just look at the basic of it and shit. Like, you know what I mean? If you went, if it was anybody, just say if it was a natural thing to do, then women would naturally agree to it. They wouldn't have to be coerced into it. They wouldn't have to be talked to so much about it. They wouldn't have to be like talked to over and over again. Like, hey, baby, this is what it is, and everything like this. You don't need none of those conversations. If it's a natural thing to do, then when a woman is proposed with that idea, she will probably naturally be able to understand it and be able to know exactly what needs to be done without any instruction. Because when you look at the heart beating, the heart knows how to beat without instructions. You don't have to tell the heart to beat. You don't have to tell, you know what I mean, the blood to stream through the veins. That shit happens naturally on its own. When you swallow, that's naturally going to go on its own. You don't have to tell yourself to swallow like that. You're going to swallow on your own, naturally. So we just got to look at what's natural. You know, polygamy, not to really shit on the high idea like that. It just depends on what you're trying to accomplish and what do you have to destroy in a woman in order to accomplish it. That's pretty much what it has to be. How you really got to look at it. You got to destroy a woman to be able to get her involved in polygamy. Like, you have to destroy her mentally. Because a woman is really designed to have her own. Because a woman is the queen. She's designed to have her own empire, her own shit, her own money, her own empire, her own shelter, her own husband, her own man. She's designed, it's just like a man, designed to have their own. Why should a woman have to share a man? If she has to share a man, she's not a queen. She's a slave. Slaves have to share. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's look at what a slave is. If you put a loaf of bread, just say it's 4 slaves, and all you had is a loaf of bread, right? And you put it on the table and they were hungry. That means all those slaves will have to eat from that one loaf of bread. Those are slaves. They all got to share. But if you're a queen and somebody put a loaf of bread on that table, that means only you eat from that loaf of bread. And if you want to give it to somebody else, a piece of it, you have the power to do it if you wanted to. After you get done eating, you may have some crumbs left over. You may want to give it to that person, or you may want to give it to that person. That's why I say they slaves. Like if you're in a polygamy relationship, you're a slave to somebody. You lost your crown and you lost your essence as a woman. Because because look at a lot of polygamy relationships. We diving in, we just going everywhere. We just diving in. A lot of polygamy relationships right now, the women, the queens, or the wives can't even go nowhere outside of the fortress or the castle that they're in, or the house that they're in. They got to be around the dude all the time. So their knowledge is limited based on whatever that man got in his head. That's how you lose your crown and your essence. Knowledge is infinite. A woman should be able to leave that house, right? A woman should be able to leave the house and go experience something in the world. And then bring it back to the house of what she's learned. That's just how I view it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're going to be in a polygamy relationship, that means that every single wife there has to be able to bring something different to the table. They can't all be the same. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they can to some people, but to me, why are they all the same? It doesn't make any sense for everybody to think the same. So each person would have to be able to go out there into the world, learn some shit, and bring it back so the man can learn from it and he can utilize those resources or whatever the wife gain and add it to the team, to the crew. Most people in polygamy relationships, even in white polygamy relationships and stuff like that, dog, they in somewhere on a compound, dog. They isolated from the world. But then it always goes back to this, though. It always goes back to this. It always goes back to what is your definition of polygamy. And it always goes back that each individual has a certain practice in a certain way that they use polygamy in order to achieve some type of goal. Even if sometimes they don't even have a goal, but to achieve something. The way I look at it is going to be way different than from somebody else where they look at it. This is just objective journalism and research here. Because we have to be able to look at what accomplishes the goal. What is the man trying to accomplish? And then you have to include what are the wives trying to accomplish. Like, if I'm in a polygamy relationship right now and I have 3 wives, I could not feel comfortable with just accomplishing what I need to accomplish. I would have to accomplish something separate from what's in my own mentality. So just say I want to accomplish to be a writer, right? I don't want everybody to be able to be like, that's what I want to accomplish for you to be a writer, MD. No, I may need help in being a writer, but once I become strong enough as being a writer, then I need to come back and help you to achieve whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, because it's going to be separate from me. We got separate DNA. We got separate purposes. We got separate journeys. Your journey ain't my journey. The reason why you here as a wife in my aspect is to be able to help me get to where I need to go so I can be strong, so I can help you get to where you need to go. That's how I look at polygamy. I don't want the woman to lose her essence of who she is. That's fucked up to me, dude. Like, she's supposed to be whoever she is, not what I'm trying to make her be. I don't want to make her be nothing. I don't want to control her. I don't want to change her or none of that shit. My job as the man to me is to be able to look inside her and be able to like, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? Okay? You want to be a fashion designer? Okay, what is your essence? What are you trying to do? What do you really want to do? It's not what I want you to do, ever. No, I'm not accepting that answer. What is what you want to be able to do? And then once I figure that out, it's my job as the man of this whole situation is to find a way for her to accomplish that goal. The same way she helped me to be able to get to where I need to go and made me strong, all three of them, four of them, whoever, how many of them wives it is, let's just go with three. All three of the wives work with me every day to help me get to where I need to go. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of work. Three people. So when I become strong, I need to give back to my wives and I need to figure out what is it that you're trying to accomplish that's separate from me and help you get that shit.